Myself is Zala Hamayu and I'm going to explain lecture number 17, which is about the design patterns. In this lecture, we will explore the design patterns and their purpose and provide the real world examples how they are practiced. So now let's move on to the next slide, which is what are the design patterns. So design patterns are tried and tested solutions to current problems, and they provide developers with a way to solve the problems efficiently. Here is some benefits and some examples. And the benefits move the enhance the maintainability and increase efficiency. Here is some examples, which is the builder patterns, factory method patterns, and resources management (RAII). And so we will discuss these examples later. Now we'll move on the next slide, which is about the builder pattern. Builder pattern is used when constructing the complex objects. Sometimes use the constructors to objects can be limiting, especially when we need the flexibility. The builder can class help solve this problem by allowing the step-by-step object creation. For example, the Java builder and HTTP request builder. So build the objects gradually and customize as they need. And here is some key advantages of this pattern is that separate the process of object and create from its actual structures and making the code clean and easier. So we will now move on the next slide, which is about the factory method patterns. Factory method patterns a way to create the object without specifying their exact class. Instead, a factory method returns the appropriate object based on the situations. This approach allows the developers to add the new subclasses without changing their existing client code. For example, the Java a character dot for name UTF-8. This is the pattern and the character set. By using this factory, developers create the object sport polymorphism more effectively. And here is some key advantage. It simplifies the object creation and sport polymorphism. Now we'll move on the next slide, which is about the resource management. Resource management is an essential part of the programming, especially for handling the memory files or logs and the resource and the RAII resources. Resource acquisition is initialization. Pattern tries resources management to the lifespan of the object. When an object is created, it acquires the resource. When it destroys, the resource is released automatically. So here is an example: C++ with a tool like unique ptr and log guard. The Java with try with resources, and in Python with a statement, and in Python with the with statement. And this pattern reduce and the advantage of this Python and Java builder reduce the chance of resources leak and make the code more reliable and easy and maintain. Now we will see the Singleton pattern. Singleton pattern ensure that a class has only one instance throughout the program and provide a way to access it easily. To implement this, the constructor is made private and a static method is used to manage the scalability. Pattern is often used for managing such as settings. However, here is some drawbacks, and drawbacks reflect difficulties in testing and potential threat safety issues. Some advantages like managing the shared resources such as the configuration settings. Now we will see the composition pattern. The composition pattern is useful when working with the structures like trees where the both parent and child need to be. So this pattern finds a common interface for all the components where they are individual elements or composed of other components. Here is some example, which is, for instance, in a tree structure, both parent node and leaf node can Implement the same method like calculating the depth or checking if the value exists. This pattern makes the system easier to extend as new components can be added without changing the existing code. This is a key advantage of this pattern. Now we will move on the visitor pattern. In this pattern helps add the new functionality in classes without modifying, and this can be achieved by creating a visitor interface that defines method for each type of class and class method and a real world example in the Java file visitor which handle the different type of systematically, and this make it easy to introduce the new operation while keeping the existing class structure intact. And these classes accept the visitor and delegating the new functionalities to them. Now we'll see the facade pattern and simplifies the complex system by providing a single and unified interface, and it will provide the detail of low level component and a class offer a high level interface that hides the complexities underneath. So here is an example. In a layer design can standardize how the high level functionality is performed and how it will work, and while ensuring that lower language do not interrupt the system, isolated the system. This pattern reduce the coupling and making the system easier to work. And here is the key advantage, and it will reduce the coupling and make system easy to work with and safe. Now we will see the static analysis for the quality. Is a method to check the source code for errors, and it ensures the quality issues without running it. And tools like file and it actually help to identify the potential problems and warning such as dead code, unhandled cases or null pointer errors. These errors also come in the operating system or hardware cases. By incorporating the static analysis into development process, team can catches early issues and bugs earlier and maintain the high code quality. Then we will see the style guide and automation. Style guides ensure that a code across the team or project look consistent, and easy to read and manageable. Automation tool can enforce these style rules automatically, saving time and less time consuming efforts. For instance, tool can be reformat code to match the desired style or flag areas that needing attention. Combine the style guides automation make it more easy, and it make the code more good quality over the time. So that's the last slide, and thank you so much.